If basement leakage...
All right, Bulls lose 129-124. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. Probably a shorter stream today, but yeah, not a good loss for the Bulls. This one is gonna hurt. I'm gonna tell you that right now. We're gonna look back at the end of the season. This one's gonna hurt. Bulls should have won this game 1,000%. It was a poor defensive showing by the Bulls. You give 129 points to the San Antonio Spurs, who, I mean, you should have came into this game knowing that this is not going to be an easy game. Those Spurs kind of slapped them in the face to start, and the Bulls, the Bulls came back, give them credit for that, but still not a really good showing by the Bulls as they gave up 35 points in the fourth quarter, which was basically the difference in this game, unfortunately. And yeah, just a bad game overall. For this Bulls team. I know there's always the positives to look at. The Bulls bench did a really good job of getting the Bulls back into this game. But I mean, we're seeing a consistent trend now where the Bulls starters just get off to a really bad start, and then it's like the bench has to come in and basically bring the Bulls back into the game, and that's not a good thing to do. That's not a good consistent trend to have. You should be having those stars get off to a good start, and then the bench can come in and extend the lead. But instead, we're seeing this Bulls team relying on the bench to get them back into the game, and it's causing a lot of problems right now for this Bulls team as they're basically having to play uphill right from the start. So a really bad showing by this Bulls team, honestly. I'm not happy about it. Like, even if they won this game, there was a lot of negatives, I think, in this game, and I'm not too happy about that at all. For this Bulls team. So yeah, really rough showing by the Bulls as they fall to the San Antonio Spurs. I think it's important to understand that this Spurs team, while this Spurs team isn't good, like, in general, I mean, they don't have Devin Vassell in this game. They just let go of Josh Primo, which is like a shocker to the NBA. Like, yes, I understand that Zach LaVine isn't playing in this game. The Bulls don't have Lonzo, but I mean, the Spurs are missing two of their key players, and the Bulls lost this one. That's not good at all. I tweeted out a couple of key things to watch for, and one of them was to contain Keldon Johnson. I thought the Bulls did a poor job of that. And the Bulls just basically lost this game in general. It's crazy to see that the Bulls rebounding, they actually won the rebounding battle, but they end up losing this one. But you see the assist is not good at all. Bulls actually did a good job of forcing turnovers for the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs had 20 turnovers in this game. But yet you still lost this game because your defense was so poor throughout the entire game that the Spurs were able to capitalize on 42% of their three-point looks. And that was the difference in this game, straight up. That's just the big difference, unfortunately, was the 42% from the three-point line for the Spurs. They made 16. Obviously, the Bulls don't have Zach, so they don't have as many three-point shooters out there. So you only make 9 of 27 shots for 33%, which isn't good. Free throws were the same. So you can just basically just point at this number right here, which again, is it perimeter defense of not finding the shooters? I'm going to argue that it's more the top of the key defense. The first line of attack defense, the point of attack defense was so bad that it let the Spurs get right into the lane, and it ended up giving three-point shots to the San Antonio Spurs. I'm going to show you a lot of examples of this, of just poor defense in general, as we go through the clips here in this game. Other thing I want to point out in this one is when you look at the game charts, man, like the Bulls, again, like everything just points to them like they should have won this one. They just should have 100% won this game. I mean, less turnovers, right? 13 steals. I know the assists don't look too great, but I mean, you're still scoring 124 points. Again, free throw disparity, same. But second chance points. Bulls had 22 second chance points to the Spurs 12. 25 fast break points to the Spurs 10. The rebound, the points in the paint were basically the same, but like the Bulls are leading in these two categories, which is what they're supposed to, or the fast break is where you're supposed to lead in. The second chance points is not where you're supposed to lead in, and yet you were leading in these categories, and yet you lost this one. Again, just poor defense in general. Keldon Johnson with 33 points in this game led the Spurs basically throughout the entire game, set the tone early, and was just basically the go-to guy down the stretch. Jakob Poeltl had a phenomenal game, and it sucked because Vucevic had a horrible game. This was a horrible outing by Vucevic, and it really sucks to see that because he's been off to such a good start to start the year, and he ended up having a really bad game in this one, and it really cost the Bulls in this one. You can definitely see that his poor performance really cost the Bulls, as the Bulls definitely needed his points and also his rebounding down the stretch, and he just wasn't coming up with the rebounds. But to just kind of go off a positive note here, just before we get into some of the clips, I mean, a phenomenal game by Kobe White. Had 19 points. A lot of it was in the first half. He caught a heater in the first half. It was a plus 18 for the game. And Donovan basically gave him minutes. Donovan's like, okay, you're playing well. I'm going to give you minutes. And he succeeded. So good job by Kobe White. Andre Drummond had a great game tonight. 17 points and 14 rebounds with 3 steals. And in a game where Vucevic was really struggling, he played extremely well. So props to Andre Drummond for coming out and playing well in this one, as the Bulls definitely needed him, man. I mean, the Bulls down the stretch were kind of getting ruined on the defensive glass, and Drummond came in and helped a lot, and he was a big reason why the Bulls got back into this one. I thought Dragic had a pretty good game as well. I know he had 2 turnovers, which is not normal, but he had 5 assists. And I thought he overall played really well in this one, so I can't be too upset with Dragic, as again he was leading the Bulls. So yet again, we look at this bench unit, and they're the ones that come in and give the Bulls positive minutes and get out and run a transition and basically get the Bulls back into the game. But yet the starters, for some reason, aren't able to hold on. I thought Patrick Williams actually had a better game in this one, but I still wanted to see a little bit more. Thought he could have a little bit more impact on the game in this one. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan did his thing. Congratulations to him getting 20,000 points. But it's just DeRozan out there, honestly. And unfortunately for him, I thought it was huge that he had to leave the game early in the second half, because you could kind of tell that the Bulls really needed him out there to set up the offense better. And the Bulls were definitely missing him. He then came back. Props to him for coming back. I hope he's doing okay, though. But then he had to come out again because it just seemed like he wasn't 100%, because he missed a layup. I mean, he hit a big 3, but then he missed 2 threes after that. Like that was not good to see. So yeah, just overall bad, 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 bad. I think this is just one, man. We look at that Wizards game, and then we look at this one. Like, these are 2 wins the Bulls should have. I mean, if the Bulls have both those wins, they're 5-1 currently. They're 3-3 instead. I know Zach doesn't play in those games, but there is just no excuse for not winning these games at all. Just no excuse. Um, I'm gonna give him a little bit more leeway with the Wizards game, because they came back from down 17 in that one, and it really seemed like everyone was really putting a good fight, and the Bulls lost because of lack of offense to lack of defense in that one. And this one was a lack of defense. This was straight up just lack of defense, not taking the Spurs seriously. And you lose it because you did not play good defense at all. Horrible defense throughout. So just overall bad in my opinion. Um, just a bad outing, especially from a couple of veterans on this team. Um, so yeah, I appreciate all the people that are coming out to watch, even though that it's a loss. This is definitely a rough loss, but I appreciate you guys coming out to support me. I will be getting into some of the analysis in a bit here, but just go ahead and leave your thoughts down in the chat. Yeah, rough one, obviously. If you have not, I would appreciate if you hit the like button on the stream. I would really appreciate if you hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I'm doing a lot of Bulls content, and I'm doing a lot of post-game live stream reactions as well. So I would really appreciate if you did that if you're new to the channel. So yeah, just overall, not good. And I haven't listened to Billy Donovan at all talk, but I want to hear what he has to say. Probably either during the stream or after the stream. I'm going to listen to him. But I want to point out a couple things here that I tweeted out to start before the game started. So first off was that Kobe needed to step up tonight, and he did. He 100% did it. Had 18 points with no Zach LaVine. Obviously, the Bulls. I mean, they already don't take a lot of threes. Without LaVine, they lose their best 3-point shooter. So Kobe had to step up, and he did. He came in the first quarter, and in the second quarter was just absolutely on fire. I give Kobe a lot of credit for this one. Second unit, I wanted to see how they played, and overall, again, I thought the second unit played better than the starters, which isn't a good thing. It's again, if the starters played well and the second unit plays well, that's great. But the second unit not playing, or the second unit playing better than the starters is just not a good thing to see. As the Bulls got off to another poor start, but the second unit without Zach LaVine, who's been running with the second unit, they look overall pretty good tonight. A lot better in the first half than the second half, but they still overall look pretty good. I thought the Bulls actually got Vucevic involved early, and because Zach LaVine is out, it's important to get Vucevic involved in the offense early on, and I thought that the Bulls did that, actually. I thought they did a really good job. But instead of Vucevic converting, he missed a lot of gimmies at the rim. He missed a lot of paint shots, and that wasn't good to see. I thought the Bulls actually got him the ball in the right positions. He just did not convert, which really sucked tonight because we definitely needed his points. And who guards Keldon Johnson? It looks like it's going to be P. Will. It was P. Will to start the game, but it's not just on P. Will to contain Keldon Johnson. It's on everybody to contain Keldon Johnson, and we saw Keldon Johnson get off to a really good start early on, which is not good. It's not good to see that. The Bulls kind of lost him, and this is the best player right now in the San Antonio Spurs, and you let him basically kind of destroy you tonight. So, yeah, just overall bad. I'm not happy about it. I'm hoping that the Bulls can somehow win against the 76ers. It seems like the Bulls, they're going to be winning games against the good teams, but not against the bad teams for some reason this year, which I don't know what to say about that. So hopefully they come out and win against the 76ers. Joel Embiid did not play tonight, but Zach obviously didn't play tonight. So the 76ers will be coming off a back-to-back, second game of back-to-back here for both teams. Tyrese Maxey had a 44-point game, if you did not see that. But they won against the Raptors convincingly, so they got a little bit more rest. The Bulls did not get that rest tonight. So, kind of like, you got to win this one, and hopefully they don't lose the game tomorrow. But let's get into some of the stuff here, man. I was not happy with this Bulls defense tonight. This just does not look like the Bulls defense that I'm used to seeing. I don't know what it was about this Bulls defense that was poor, but it just seemed like, or I'm sorry, I'm not sure what it was about this Bulls defense that decided to play poor tonight, but that's not, like, it's just inexcusable to be playing poor defense against the San Antonio Spurs, man. It's just straight up inexcusable. So let's watch this here. in this play here, I'm showing you where Vucevic did not come over and help on a drive by Doug McDermott. Like, this just seemed like the Bulls did not want to just come over and rotate. I don't know why, but it just was one of those nights where it just like the rotations were late, or they just weren't there in general. So we're gonna be watching Vucevic here, and I'm specifically looking at a drive by Doug McDermott, and he's being guarded by Ayo Dosunmu. Okay, so we're gonna watch here as this play develops that Doug McDermott is gonna get the ball. Now, as this play is happening, you're seeing that Keldon Johnson's being guarded by Javonte Green. He's going to be clearing out. So this is on Javonte. This is on Nikola Vucevic to slide on over as this play, as Doug McDermott drives. Ayo does the right thing. This is exactly what we want to see from Ayo Dosunmu, or all the Bulls players, which is when a player is on the baseline side or in the corner, you want to force them to drive baseline. You don't want to force them to come into the middle of the floor, because if Doug McDermott is allowed to come into here, then he has all the options in the world, right? So Ayo instead is forcing the drive baseline, which is exactly what we want. And this is a planned defensive scheme by the Bulls. But as he drives, I don't know what it is, but where's Vucevic? Like, this is just straight up inexcusable from Vucevic, because he needs to come over. This is the defense. This is the defensive scheme. Ayo forced them baseline. He's expecting help to be their baseline. He did it exactly his job to force Doug McDermott baseline, but Vucevic is not there to help, because if Vucevic is there to help, you got Javonte Green coming over here, you got DeMar DeRozan to come in to take Jakob Poeltl. There's plenty of people to come in. I don't know what it is, why Vucevic wasn't there in this drive, but this is just too simple. This is way too simple of a layup for Doug McDermott. That's an easy bucket for him. Not good. Just not good right off the start. Let's see here. What is this one? This is a Andre Drummond pick and roll. Or him defending the pick and roll. So here comes the San Antonio Spurs in transition. Let's watch this. We're going to be watching Andre Drummond. Now, the Bulls play the drop, right? It's okay that the Bulls play the drop. I actually think it's the right move, as a lot of NBA teams play the drop. But what you can't do in the drop is, if there's a pick and roll at the top of the key, if you're Andre Drummond, you can't just be backing up. You can't just be backing up back here. You need to meet the screen. You need to meet the ball when they come off the screen. But instead, in this one, we see Andre Drummond just back up, and it leads to easy points for San Antonio Spurs. I mean, look at this right here. Why is Andre Drummond backing up? He was up here to start. He's just backing up. And Javonte, he needs to get through the screen, and he did. He also forced Trey Jones to take the screen, which is a good job by Javonte. Now, he could have gotten through the screen a little bit better, but still, though, if you're Andre Drummond, you can't be backing up on this play. You need to be up here. Not saying you need to blitz. Like, we're not blitzing, right? Blitzing is a horrible idea, but you need to be up here. You can't be standing back here at the free throw line on the top of the key pick and roll. That's inexcusable. Inexcusable by Andre Drummond. And I know you had a great game tonight, but I'm calling out everybody tonight because this is a horrible defensive game by the Chicago Bulls. So again, backing up, it allows Trey Jones to get an easy floater. Why are we backing up? No excuses at all whatsoever. All right, what's this one here? 2-minute mark. Let's watch Patrick Williams on this one, okay? So, I've been talking about consistently how it's important for the Bulls, the point of attack defender, which in this case is whoever's guarding the ball at the start of possession, which is Patrick Williams right here, okay? Watch him as he guards Keldon Johnson. You need to make sure that he goes where you want him to go, which in this case is to go into the screen, because if Patrick Williams lets him go around him, oh, look, this isn't good. Wide open lane to the rim. What are we doing? Like, if you're Patrick Williams, you can't. This is just straight up inexcusable. You need to make sure he takes the screen. You need to force him to take the screen on this play. Straight up inexcusable by Patrick Williams here. So let's run it back. Oh, that's a little too far back. All right, let's just watch the play here. So, Patrick Williams misses the shot, right? I just can't stress this enough. This bothered me a lot. Okay, right here. If you're Patrick Williams, you need to make sure you need to hedge Keldon Johnson to make sure he goes this way, because your help is here. This is Nikola Vucevic. He's the other person involved in the pick and roll. Your help is right over here. You cannot let Keldon Johnson go this way. Do not let him go that way. But instead, we see Keldon Johnson is able to just go wherever he wants to, and Patrick Williams has to foul him. What are we doing? This is just bad. right? Straight up just bad defense by the Bulls point of attack defender. And this is the reason why I'm like, it's not necessarily about the Bulls like getting out to the shooters, right? I mean, there was definitely some possessions where that was bad, but it starts here. It starts at the point of attack. It starts at the top of the key. It starts with the first defender. This is just bad. This is just horrible defense by Patrick Williams. And now, granted, I'm gonna say Patrick Williams had some good moments defensively, but these lapses here, everyone had these lapses. It's not just him. And it's just bad to see, man. Let's watch this here. This is a Sochan 3-point shot, okay? So here to start off, I'm not too upset where Vucevic is here. I think he could be just a tad bit up, but this is fine. I'm not too upset where Vucevic is here to start. But the main person here that we're watching is Javonte Green as he gets back cut. Now, it's not exactly his fault that he got back cut, as he's coming over, but this is actually, in my opinion, this is on Ayo Dosunmu. So on the pick and roll here, this is just pick and roll, top of the key at the free throw line with Collins and Keldon Johnson. How many times have I talked about where the Bulls off-ball defenders have to come on over and help on the drive? Right here, if Ayo Dosunmu comes over to help, this back cut doesn't happen. This is a back cut by Keita Bates-Diop. But if Ayo comes over to help, this stops the drive. But instead, he doesn't really come over to help, and it leaves Javonte Green to come over to help, and that leads to a back cut by Keita Bates-Diop. So, as I said, if Ayo comes over to help, this looks completely different. But instead, he doesn't. Javonte came over to help. He loses his man. Keita Bates-Diop comes on over, and so DeMar then has to come on over to help and stop this layup from happening, which is the right thing to do. Now, if you're the Bulls, right now Patrick Williams needs to run back out to Sochan. He needs to, straight up, just has to. That Ayo needs to come over and guard Keldon Johnson. Javonte took Ayo's man and Trey Jones. So on this rotation, it just wasn't there. And I'm not blaming Patrick Williams too hard on this one because it was, at the top of the key here. This is where it broke down. It's not on Patrick Williams, right? The issue was at the top of the key, where Ayo Dosunmu to come over and help. Because of that, it leads to Keita Bates-Diop getting a back cut, and then DeRozan comes over to help, which then leaves DeRozan's man wide open in the corner, and Sochan gets a wide open 3-point shot. But yet again, as I'm going to continue showing these clips, it's not about the Bulls not finding the shooters, right? It's the start of the play. It's the top of the key. It's the initial defense, right? That's where this Bulls team is getting stuck or having a bad defensive possession, right? It starts here. And it's not always the person getting screened or the person involved in the screening role. This is on Ayo. He needs to come over and help. Because if he comes over and help, this drive by Keldon Johnson doesn't happen, and then it doesn't allow Javonte Green to have to come over and help and then get back cut, right? The only reason why Sochan got that wide open 3-point shot is because of this, right? It's not DeMar DeRozan's fault that he had to come over and help off of a back cut that Javonte Green had to give up, right? It starts on this side, right? The strong side, where the ball is being held, where the action starts. So again, this isn't on finding the 3-point shooter or knowing who the 3-point shooter is. And honestly, I'm willing to give up a Sochan 3-point shot, but it has to be contested. It starts at the very beginning of the defense, the point of attack. That's where it all starts, man. I'm telling you. All right, where's this one? 10:59. This is a bad defensive pick and roll by Dragic. Okay, now I just showed you the play where Patrick Williams let Keldon Johnson go past him and not force Keldon Johnson into the screen. This right here is a horrible defensive possession by Goran Dragic, and it's basically the exact same thing. You have to force this player with the ball to take the screen. Okay, but watch right here. Your help is Andre Drummond. Okay, the screen is coming up over here. Your help is this way, so force him this way. But instead, we don't see that, and we see, I believe it's Keita Bates-Diop, whoever the heck it is, and maybe it's the rookie Johnson, that he is able to go this way. There's no help over here, right? Your help was Andre Drummond. You needed to force him this way. But instead, we see that Dragic lets him go this way, and this is where the breakdown happens. This is where it all starts, right? Because of this breakdown up here, it leads to a wide open lane for the Spurs. Someone has to come over and help, and it leaves the shooters wide open. This is why the Spurs are getting open 3-point looks. It's not about always, oh, we're not trailing or we're not sticking with the 3-point shooters, right? Or not finding the 3-point shooters. So it leads to this. And guess what? Doug McDermott misses this 3-point shot. But what happens? He misses it. But we all just saw this horrible defensive possession, right? We all just saw it, right? That it started at the top of the key. It always starts at the top of the key. It starts at the initial line of defense. There is no reason for Goran Dragic to let Johnson or whoever this is to get right past him and not go to the screen. Inexcusable. This is why Doug McDermott got a wide open 3-point shot. That's why the Spurs are getting wide open looks, and these guys have to come off the shooters to get to cover the lane and give up 3-point looks. He misses the shot. That's a wide open look though. Not good at all. Let's see here. 9:38. Fourth quarter. I honestly don't remember what this one is, so I'm just gonna play to see what exactly happened here. Again, screen and roll, communication. Okay, this is what this was. This is a switch, man. Javonte needs to come over and guard Sohan. DeRozan needs to take Doug McDermott. Instead, both two go with Doug McDermott. Also, he's able to get this far into the lane, which is just inexcusable at this point. And this leads to a wide open look for Sohan, which then, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but Goran Dragic came over to help, which, again, it's the top of the key. It starts all at the top of the key. The initial line of defense was poor communication, which then led to Dragic, for some reason, coming out all the way over here. Pass gets thrown to the corner. Wide open look for, I believe it's Johnson. I don't exactly know. It's the rookie that just got some playing time for the Spurs tonight. Or Wesley, that's who it is. And he gets a wide open 3-point look. Again, just it's the top of the key, man. It's the top of the key, and it bothers me that I saw this tonight. So that's the bad stuff. I'm gonna show some good stuff here, just because we need to have some good stuff here. As the Bulls go into a game against 76ers. So let's watch this. Okay, this is actually good defense by the Chicago Bulls. Specifically looking at Kobe White as he comes over to help here. As we see here, this is we're gonna see basically a drive here by the Spurs. I believe that's Isaiah Roby getting a lane over to the rim. Now, as he is about to come over here, you see that Kobe White comes off Keita Bates-D up. This is the weak side, and comes over to help. This is good. This is exactly what we want to see, right? Weak side defender coming on over to help on the drive. And we see here that, let me just get rid of all of that. This stops the layup from happening, right? This is exactly what we want. This stops the layup. And this is Keita Bates-D up was Kobe White's man, so Dragic has come off of his man in Trey Jones to cover for Kobe White, help the helper, and this ends up actually being a really good job by the Bulls to prevent an easy layup. Tries to throw the Keita Bates-D up. That's a hard pass. Bulls should have gotten the rebound initially, but don't get it, and then they eventually get the rebound. So good job there by the Bulls to cover up on the help defense. And then another one here. Let's see where this one is. 6. All right. Yep. I've been talking about this basically in all these clips. Top of the key pick and roll. Right. This is a good possession by the Chicago Bulls, where we see Ayo Dosunmu get over the screen and force the man to go to the screen. Right. This is your help in Andre Drummond. You need to force Wesley to go this way. Right. Force him to go into Andre Drummond where your help is. You can't let him go this way. Do not let him go away from the screen or reject the screen. This is so important. And we see Ayo forces him to go into the screen. Andre Drummond's in good position, right? Ayo sticks with him the entire possession. He stays on his hip. Does not allow him to cross him over and then go wherever he wants. He forces Wesley to go to his left, which is exactly what you want to see. Caruso, good job over here as the ball is now on over here. It's the strong side, so Caruso's now the weak side. He comes over, helps Drummond's man. Drummond's able to recover, and it leads to this, right? Throw back out, and the Bulls are off and running. That's what you want to see, but we did not see that all game. This was not here all game, right? And that's just the part where it's like it's just so annoying to see that the Spurs got so many open looks. Um, and I think the Bulls need to do a lot better job with their perimeter defense. And it just yeah, just overall bad by the San Antonio Spurs. I know we don't have a lot of viewers here tonight, so not a lot happening in the chat here. This is usually when I let the stream kind of or let the chat kind of dictate the stream here and kind of ask some questions, but I'm still just gonna go for another few minutes here, and I'm gonna call it. And I'm gonna actually probably have a video on this on San Antonio Spurs and their loss, and showing poor perimeter defense by the Bulls, as yeah, just a really bad loss by the Bulls. But yeah, not a lot of viewers in this one. That's totally fine. I totally understand it. But yeah, I'm gonna just kind of continue talking for a few more minutes, end the stream. Probably make a video about this. So again, shorter stream as the Bulls. Understandably, I understand why people aren't here because they lost in a very bad game here. But yeah, the Bulls in this one, just to kind of wrap up on the game, I want to talk about something else here. I don't know what exactly is up with Vucevic in this one. Like Vucevic, even when he was kind of struggling around the rim, you saw him at least get a lot of rebounds, and you saw him still like effective. He's still effective on defense. He was still getting multiple boards, and in this one, he had 2 defensive rebounds and 3 offensive, which is like, what are we doing? He needs to do a lot better on that side of the ball. And because of his lack of effectiveness, it hurt the Bulls tonight. I know a lot of people are gonna be kind of like, well, the Bulls have lost both of these games without Zach, and it's like this dude's getting paid the most amount of money, and I understand that this is like, it's gonna be a huge thing with especially Joe Coley. As he continues to harp on Zach LaVine should have never been paid the max contract, which I don't understand, but this is how it's gonna have to go for this Bulls team. Like Zach is like, even if Zach plays tonight, I don't think the Bulls win. I honestly don't, because this was such a poor defensive effort. So yeah, maybe you can be like, well, if Zach plays tonight, should have won, which is like, well, shows that he's important, right? But I don't think the Bulls win tonight even if Zach plays. I think the Bulls just played so bad defensively that they lose this game no matter what. And that's just not good. So I understand that's gonna be kind of like a headline that Bulls have lost against the Wizards and the Spurs when Zach hasn't played. But the Bulls also won against Miami Heat when Zach wasn't playing. So it's all about effort and defense, man. It's all about being engaged. And you have to, I mean, the Bulls are already without Lonzo, right? So even without Lonzo, you have to continue to play good defense. Just because Zach isn't there doesn't mean they can relax. Just overall bad by the Chicago Bulls. And as I'm gonna end stream here, one of the things that was kind of being brought up in my chat is the idea of Tony Bradley getting cut after this game or after the 6th game for the Bulls. And I've been kind of researching, like, I had no clue what it was about. Like, people were saying this before, where it's like the Bulls can cut Tony Bradley and then sign a minimum contract. And I'm like, I didn't get it. So I think it was being kind of described wrong on Twitter. I thought people were kind of saying that Tony Bradley, if they cut his contract, that it wouldn't count against the Bulls. His contract's guaranteed for the season. It's fully guaranteed. So that's not the case. But what is the case is that if the Bulls decide to cut Tony Bradley, now the minimum contract, if you sign anybody to a minimum contract, it's prorated because the Bulls already played 5 games or whenever they decide to sign this person. That it's not a full minimum contract, right? So it wouldn't be the full $1.8 million. The Bulls have about $1.7 million before the luxury tax. But a minimum contract is $1.8 million. So they would still hit the luxury tax if they sign a person to a minimum contract. But now that there's been a certain amount of games played, it would not be $1.8 million. It's going to be prorated to be about 1.7 or a little bit less than that. Therefore, the Bulls are able to sign someone to a minimum contract for the rest of the season because they're not being signed for a full 82-game season. So it's definitely something to be kind of look at. I personally would not make any moves right now. I think you kind of just let it play out for now. I can definitely see the Bulls, being very active on the buyout market when that ever comes around after the February trade deadline. But I wouldn't make a move right now. I personally would not want Carmelo Anthony on this team. I don't think that helps, but I know a lot of people say it does. But personally, that's just not something that I think would help this Bulls team if they sign Carmelo Anthony right now. But I will be interested to see if the Bulls decide to potentially waive Bradley or maybe Marko Simonovic, and then sign someone to a minimum contract as that is officially available to them without hitting luxury tax for Chicago for this season. So just something to look at. Appreciate to all the viewers, and now I'm seeing more viewers come in. So I had 0 viewers for a while, but now more people are coming in. But appreciate all the viewers that were in the stream. Watch me kind of break down all the stuff tonight. If you have not, and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I have a video coming out. It's probably going to be similar to exactly this, but I want to do a video on this because I think it's important for this video to go out and show that, hey, this Bulls defense, man, it is rough right now. It is not good, and I think it's important that this Bulls team fixes it, especially before they play a good team in Philadelphia. Hey, Calvin, hope you're doing well. Yeah, I hope it doesn't become a trend for Vooch. Man, I'm not happy about this game for Vooch. I mean, look, man, like, this is, like, Vooch has to step up in when Zach doesn't play. Like, this is just gonna have, like, this is just life, right? What with Zach. Like, you have to live with it. Like, if everyone's gonna be living without Lonzo for not playing for 10 months, this is how it's gonna have to be with Zach. You have to live with Zach not playing in both games of a back-to-back. You just have to, right? So it's important that this Bulls team, when Zach isn't playing, that the All-Stars or the guys that are the vets, they step up. And Vooch just did not step up tonight. He had a horrible game tonight, straight up. So hopefully it doesn't continue. Yeah, really rough game for Vucevic tonight. All right, but that's gonna be doing it for me in this short stream. Pretty negative, as I think the Bulls team kind of deserves it. Just bad game to lose. Not good at all. Not very happy about this loss by the Chicago Bulls. But yeah, I'm very disappointed. If you kind of look at the standings right now for the NBA, like, if the Bulls just pull out some of these games against some of the teams they should win, I mean, we're looking at this team being up here, man. We'd be exactly up at the top of the Eastern Conference. I mean, the Boston Celtics have lost some games they shouldn't have lost already this year. It just, like, the Brooklyn Nets are 1-4. The Miami Heat are 2-4. Like, this is the time, right? 76ers, I mean, what are they now? They're 2-4. Like, these are games that the Bulls should have had, but they don't have them right now. They didn't win them. Appreciate it, Calvin. All right, that's gonna do it for me, guys. Gonna expect a video tomorrow about basically similar to what I just did in the stream, but I want to make it into a video because I think it's important to point out the bad defense by the Bulls. What was with Billy's wacky fives down the stretch, Trav T? I thought because it was mostly that Vucevic was playing bad. If you mean wacky five specifically for the center position, I thought he made the right decision to put Drummond back in the game. And then in some of the possessions they went small intentionally to get like a quick bucket. But if you talk about wacky just 5-man lineups, I didn't really personally have an issue with it. If anything, I think Vucevic should have just came out earlier. That's it. But no, I mean that was the lineup, right? You put Dragic out there. You took Io out because he was kind of struggling. He was not doing the best at that moment, so you put Javonte in instead. I think it's the right move, honestly. I think Caruso also was in the closing lineup as well. And Kobe was playing great, and Kobe got a lot of minutes down the stretch, and deservingly so. He had all these minutes because he was playing so well. So I personally do not think this was on Donovan. I think this is on the players tonight. I don't know about you, but that's just my opinion. All right, sorry to cut this one short, guys, but I'm gonna end the stream now. I want to make a video instead of continuing the stream tonight. But Bulls lost 129 to 124 to San Antonio Spurs. Congratulations to DeMar DeRozan getting 20K in career points. Great night for him. Classic move by Greg Popovich as usual. But yeah, just a bad loss. Just an inexcusable loss. This is just more inexcusable than the Wizards game, in my opinion. Appreciate it, Trav. I'll see you in the next one. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Tough loss, man. Hopefully the 76ers get. Hopefully the Bulls winning against the 76ers tomorrow, as they need to come back after this one. Just straight up. Got. I'm not saying you have to win against the 76ers, but you have to play better defense. Like if you play good defense and you lose, so be it. But if you basically wet the bed on defense again, then we're gonna have some issues. Because man, this Bulls team can't let these games slip, unfortunately. But all right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Check out my video for tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing a video on this poor defense the Bulls played against San Antonio Spurs. But all right, see you guys in the next one. Peace, y'all.